This is Chris Miglino. I am at the world famous LD Micro Conference in Los Angeles. I am here with Evsand, right? Not Evsand, not to be mistaken for Evsand, but Evsand. And Tim Moore. Tim, thanks for joining us today. So Tim's company is a private company and but is building some innovative technology around batteries for powering homes. So tell us a little bit about the business.
Well, our business is thermal batteries. We're a green solution for heating homes. We're using thermal battery, which is a very old technology. The first thermal batteries were rocks from around the fire. You can go back to 3000 BC, and there were houses that were built with thermal batteries heated by fireplaces. Today, thermal batteries are very common in industrial or in district heating. Typically in Europe, they'll have a thermal battery that will heat 100 or more homes. We don't do much district heating in North America, certainly not homes, but we do a lot of industrial heating using thermal batteries. They're typically the size of a school bus or as big as a building. Our magic and our patent is on a thermal battery that's small enough to fit in your home to be used as a furnace. So we replace the traditional gas-fired or oil-fired or propane-fired furnace for heating your home, providing green benefits.
Interesting. So it gets very hot.
It does. We heat up to around 800 degrees Celsius.
And how does it work? What drives it and what gets it there? And what kind of energy do you need to heat the battery?
Yeah, it's electrically heated. It uses three electrodes that they've been repurposed from the oil and gas industry. It needs the same power hookup that you would use for your dryer or if you had an electric stove. So it's not special wiring. And it sits in the place where your furnace would sit. And what we do is we exploit the cheap electricity that's available in around 30 states in the U.S. and in several provinces in Canada, where surplus base energy is priced exceptionally low overnight because you can't turn off a nuclear power plant or a hydroelectric facility. And in fact, my home province, Ontario, Canada, pays the state of Michigan to take electricity overnight. Well, for the consumer, that manifests itself in exceptionally cheap overnight electricity that we store for use 24 hours a day. And so the savings come from the fact that you take that cheap electricity and use it 24 hours a day.
So how long will it hold the heat charge? How long does that last?
In exceptionally cold months, it's shorter, but in a typical heating environment for a home, call it a 2,400 square foot home, we need around 6 hours of heating time to provide up to 3 days of heating. So it stores approximately 35 kilowatts of energy. It translates to 110,000 BTUs, and it heats your home in a really nice way. So if you have a gas-fired furnace, what happens is the thermostat waits for the temperature to drop to a set point. So you feel a chill. I should put a sweater on. Wait, the furnace just came on. Now it heats your house up to the point where I take my sweater off. Well, with our battery, it's at a constant temperature and it's constantly delivering the heat at whatever temperature you want to set. So you don't have that cycling. You just have a constant temperature.
And can solar be used to
Absolutely.
Okay. So you can be off grid with this.
You can be the greenest version of our system is by installing 3 1 kilowatt solar panels. You need around 6 hours of sunlight every 3 days to heat it up. And so even in the winter months, you hope you get that. But you would typically dual power it if you want it to be safe. You would have solar as well as backup electric in the event that you had 3 or 4 days of really cloudy weather.
So how big is it?
Like it's about half the size of a water heater.
Okay.
It's 48 inches tall and around 30 inches across.
Okay. So it's very, portable.
It's very portable.
How heavy is it?
That's actually the part of the patent. So thermal batteries today are typically filled with concrete because they're a very good heat sink. You can't take something the size I just described and get it into your basement or your crawl space or your attic if it's full of concrete. Not going to happen. It's going to weigh 1,000 pounds. What we do is we actually ship the empty steel vessel and then fill it with sand. We have a proprietary aggregate of sand to a specification to fill it with in situ. So you can carry the bags of sand into the basement, The actual empty vessel weighs around 300 pounds. So it's comparable to moving a refrigerator into your basement. You can use a hand truck and get it down there.
Interesting.
Yeah.
And how much does it cost?
It retails for $5,000. It'll cost you about $1,000 to install it if you need an electrical hookup, and for the adaptation parts to go from your existing furnace plenum and back to it.
So now typically, like, my air conditioner is the heater as well, right? It's 2 in 1. So if somebody has this, they need to have an air conditioning unit separate.
In the portions of the country that need air conditioning, yes. An air conditioning or heat pump would complement this, and you would still have that. But where you need heat, which frankly is most of North America needs heat for part of the year. Like tonight, some people in Los Angeles will have their furnace on. And I lived in northern Florida, and we had a furnace that was on for a couple of months a year. I currently live in Las Vegas, and we have 2 months of the year that we need to heat there. So if you're going to be heating, this replaces your furnace.
Okay, interesting. Well, where are you in the process of bringing this to market? What's the evolution of it? It's a private company now.
Right.
Like, are you shipping these? It's in development.
We're still pre-revenue.
Okay.
So we've bootstrapped this to this point. Myself, the founder, and some other shareholders have invested enough money to get us to a working prototype, to get our patent application in, and to form some strategic partnerships with some key partners. And we're at that point where we're ready to commercialize. So we're looking to raise capital today to do that commercialization and launch into the marketplace.
Okay, fantastic. And then you're at a small cap conference. That's all public companies. Is there a plan then to take that public?
That's correct.
Okay.
So what we have are some specific milestones that we feel we need to hit in order to trigger that go public event, and we're hoping to do that by the end of 2025.
And what do you think, will you be shipping units at that time?
We'll be shipping units in the first quarter of 2025.
Okay. So you'll have a good pathway for people, visibility for people to say.
Yeah, we will have established some revenue and some growth trajectory at that point, and have established our supply chain beyond where we are now. We do have a partnership with a fabricator for building the unit, and so we can build enough units today to support up to $1 million a month in revenue. And at that point, that we would be public and have raised money to build our own manufacturing facility. But for now, we'll give up a few points of margin and have someone else build for us.
Okay, interesting. All right, well, our viewers will keep an eye on it. Keep us informed about where you are in the process, and come back and have another conversation with us as we get closer to that event.
We'd love to come back next year and tell you where we are then.
All right, perfect. Thank you very much. Good seeing you.